the shopping addiction thing wasn't the only reason why. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a Chatty Get Ready with me using the new Tarte Reflections 25th Anniversary Amazonian Clay Eyeshadow Palette. This is the one I'm talking about. This is going to be the second look that I film for my channel, but I have used this palette a couple of other times already, so I'm going to create another look with it today and talk to you about why you won't find me shopping at QVC. And that's why I thought I wasn't going to be able to get this palette, because when it released, it was a QVC exclusive, and I thought to myself, well, that counts me out. So when it released a couple of weeks later on all the other sites, all the other beauty retailers, I was really excited to see it. I put it right in my cart and was really excited. So I want to create another look for you today, but I want to talk to you a little bit about why I won't shop at QVC and why that was going to count me out if it was going to be a QVC exclusive. I have a basket here of my makeup of the day that I'm going to be using to get ready with today. So let me just add my eyeshadow palette of the day to the stack, and I'll go ahead and get started with the makeup now that my under makeup moisturizer is soaking in. I don't know if you can tell, but I got a haircut. I got a haircut yesterday, and that's why my hair doesn't look frizzy, because she put a bunch of product in it and gave me a blowout. Like, she blowed my hair out, she blow dried my hair out and made it look all smooth and pretty. So even though it is a very humid day today, you can't tell because my hair is not super frizzy. But I don't typically like to wear this much product in my hair. I don't like to wear any product in my hair, generally speaking. I mean, I'll use very little sometimes. I'm a less is more kind of girl these days. Let's move on. So let me tell you about why I won't shop at QVC ever again. This story is going to take a few twists and turns probably, so just, you know, follow along if you can. And I'm not going to focus too much on the makeup, but I will show you what I'm using, and I will try to remember to list it down below in the description box. So if you're interested in any of the products that I'm using, be sure to look down there for the information. And if I happen to forget, please just comment down below and remind me, and I will make it a point to list everything down below. So real quick, let me start off by saying I don't really have any problems with QVC as a business. Like, it wasn't like a bad experience from customer service or anything like that as to why I won't shop there. Let me say that because I did lay out, I am now using my darker About Face foundation. So I'm excited about that. And as much as I don't want to flatten my hair out any further than it's already been flattened just by the actual blowout process, I'm going to go ahead and tie my hair back, because otherwise I'm going to get foundation all in it. Especially since she blow dried it forward, which I hate that so much. I hate hair in people's faces. I hate hair in my face. Let me set the scene. Picture it. Me, circa 1999. I am a new mom with a brand new baby, okay? And before that, like, I'm a young mom. I was 21, maybe 22 when I had my baby. And before that, I had been quite the social butterfly, okay? And so for me to be staying home day in and day out with my new baby, alone, mind you, because by this point, my fiance and I had separated. The baby came early, let me say that. So I wasn't expecting to have a baby when I did yet. And the baby came early. That one thing led to another. Me and my fiance separated pretty quickly after the baby was born. And I was living with my family. I had moved back home with my family. This is just the backdrop to explain where I was at in life, and then I'm getting to the QVC part, okay? So anyways, I basically was like, losing my friends because none of my other friends had babies. And let me say also that I had my baby deliberately. It wasn't like an accidental thing. I had planned my child and I wanted to start my family. So anyway, it's not like I had an accident or whatever. But my point is that I've got something stuck on my hair now. I hate when that happens. I mean, on my face. Okay. So I was basically home alone with, I mean, like I lived with my grandparents and my mother. My mother was at work and she like supported my grandparents, and I lived there in their house. And so I was home with the baby, the newborn, and he was a preemie. And because of that, he had feeding issues. Like he was born too early to learn how to, like, to automatically know how to eat. And so from the get-go, I had a pretty rough time with, where's my brushes? Where's my face brushes? Okay, what am I gonna do here? Hold on, let me just think for a second. I'm gonna use my BK Beauty brushes. I had washed my BK Beauty brushes and covered them so that they wouldn't get dirty. Because, ooh, that's dusty. Because I was planning on doing a video about my BK Beauty brushes before a sale, 2 or 3 sales ago actually already, but I haven't been able to get to it. Anyways, here's what they look like clean, but I'm about to dirty them for this video, so, okay. So anyways, so basically what I'm saying is that I was home with my baby, no husband, or like no husband or fiance or boyfriend, okay, or whatever, okay? I was not married at the time. And my mother, you know, obviously she had to go to work and stuff, so she wasn't like there to keep me company. And I had a hard time with the feeling of isolation, okay? At such a young age, having gone from social butterfly to all of a sudden like just spending all my time with my little baby, which I adored my baby. He, of course, he was like, oh, he was such a good baby. Anyway, but my point is I had this newborn who I had to feed around the clock. He was he was a preemie. I had to feed around the clock. And so I was like up every 2 hours feeding him. Okay. So a few weeks into that, I was exhausted to say the least, you know. I had absolutely nobody helping me and I was trying to do it all. So I would wash and sterilize my bottles on the stove, and I had to keep like this constant flow going. And because I was like really broke back then at that time in my life, I didn't have a lot of bottles to go through. So, ow, my hair is pulling. I can't with this hair tie. I tried, guys, okay? I tried. I know it's like annoying for you when my hair like falls into my face and I just like hold it back with my hand, but that's how I learned to do my makeup before hair ties were a thing. So, old habits die hard. Anyhow, so I'd be up really late at night and having to, you know, constantly wash and sterilize bottles. Well, I would be watching QVC while I was basically around the clock, because it was the only thing that could be on that I didn't really care if I missed stuff. I was still like getting used to not being able to watch a TV show all the way through or whatever. Whereas before I could do anything that I wanted when I was like a child, you know what I mean, all by myself. And so anyway, I found QVC that happened to just like talk and show stuff all the time. And every clip, you know, would be repeated like every 15 minutes throughout the hour of the stuff that they were selling. And one thing led to another. And let's just say that I feel like QVC is the reason that I have, well, it's not the reason, but it is one of the main reasons that I have had such a shopping addiction in my life. And that is because I got to where, okay, this is really bad. I started buying everything on QVC, like everything that they showed me, okay? Now, let me also just explain a little further that back then, you know, growing up, my mother bought me everything that I wanted. anything that I wanted, anything that I asked for all the time growing up, okay? And like every time she would bring home a shopping catalog, which back then, this was before the internet, okay? So shopping catalogs were really big. Every store would send out a shopping catalog in order to get people to buy the products. And so every time a shopping catalog would arrive to the house, I would go through and circle everything that I wanted with either 1, 2, or 3 stars to let her know the level of significance of desire that I had towards it, so that she could know, you know, instead of just picking the items that I had circled, she could know which items I would rather have more than others instead of picking one of my lesser preferred ones. And I learned that because when I just did one, like when I just circled them, it was luck of the draw what I might get in what order, you know. I had everything, okay? Anyway, so my mother is why I was a more collected all kind of girl. And then when I grew up, quote unquote grew up, I hit 21 and then started my family, but was living at home. I'm still basically a child, okay? I was a child having a child, had no business doing that, but nobody could tell me anything, okay? I knew everything, all right? And so anyway, so one thing led to another, and when I'd be watching QVC while I was feeding my baby or in between washing bottles and stuff, I would be sitting there, and sometimes I would get really distracted and get like really into whatever the item was. I mean, I ordered everything. I ordered jewelry, sets, I ordered makeup. No, just a little bit of makeup. I wasn't really into makeup back then, like having a big collection. I just wanted one product in each category at that time. But like I do remember ordering a set of like Mally eyeliners that were kind of sparkly and colorful and supposed to be like run proof, and they were like gel liners when gel liners were really new. Anyway, and so I ordered everything back then, all right? I ran up my mom's credit cards like it was nothing. Okay, QVC was sending stuff to my house 10 times a day, okay, for over a year. I ran my mother's cards up with no understanding of what I was doing and how effed up that really was. But also, she didn't really like say anything, you know? She'd just be like, Michelle, ease up on it this month or something like that. That's all she'd tell me, you know? She wouldn't be like, stop using my card. She wouldn't say that to me, you know? And I mean, I wasn't just buying things for myself. I'd be buying jewelry sets for her. I'd be buying, you know, clothing. I bought purses, Dooney and Burke purses. I bought, you know, accessories. I bought household items. I even bought food products from QVC, okay? I bought everything that they offered. Patio things, seasonal things, crafting things, beauty things, household things, kitchen things, garage things. I didn't even own a home. I wasn't even into cooking at that time. And so the reason why you won't find me shopping QVC at all these days, no matter what they have, like I won't even look at the site to see the great deals. I bought my vacuum cleaner. I got everything from there, okay? The reason why you won't find me looking at the site is because I bought everything from there. And not only did I completely clutter up my house, but I spent a lot of my mother's money. I wasn't even working. So like I just didn't really understand. I don't know. I don't know what was wrong with me. I was a child is what the problem was. And I was going through a very traumatic custody suit, separation, and, you know, major life adjustments, like with nobody to talk to. It was a lot. So anyways, I used shopping as a coping mechanism, obviously. And I can't tell you the thousands of items that I purchased from QVC. Bedding, nail polish sets, everything, okay? Candles, you name it, I had it. And it all came from QVC because I didn't have a car anymore. I had given up my car so I could be a stay-at-home mom, and my fiance and I were just going to share his vehicle. And, you know, we were starting off meagerly, okay? And I was making sacrifices to support the lifestyle that I wanted to live. And so I stopped working and gave up all of my things so that I could, you know, be more affordable for us or whatever. Anyhow, like, so that he wouldn't have to take on my car payment for me when I stopped working. Anyway, so, yeah, I ended up buying so many things, but I had to somehow just like stop shopping at QVC, and it was really hard. I mean, it was a little bit crazy. And so, and I was a little bit crazy, obviously. I went a little crazy. I didn't even understand. Like, I wasted so much of my mother's money on QVC items. And I mean, yeah, we got a lot of stuff for it, but you know, back then also my mother was a shopaholic as well. So I think that's why she never really told me no. Like, my mother was never really good at setting boundaries with me, which is why I am the way that I am. And I think also why it's so important for me to set boundaries with people and myself in my life, because I was raised with no boundaries. Literally, I could do whatever I want. I mean, whatever I wanted at any age, at any time, no matter what. All my friends and I thought that I had such a cool mom, you know? And I mean, like, that was the consensus at the time. But in hindsight, I see that I really needed somebody to parent me, okay? And teach me how I was being gluttonous and how it's wasteful and just not how you're supposed to live life, okay? And so anyways, let me get back to the shopping thing. The shopping addiction thing wasn't the only reason why. Okay, the constant access to good, tempting deals wasn't the only reason why I had to cut myself off. Like, this was the final nail in the coffin. This was what culminated. And I remember now, this was why I was going to share the story, but then when I got off into the story, I got lost in memory and I forgot completely like the whole point of everything that I was going to tell you. But anyway, so one day, one night, I was up in the middle of the night boiling bottles in a great big aluminum, like, big pot, the kind that you would make that my grandma would make menudo in on the weekends. And I'm going to just use a little bit of this bronzer over the other one, even though I don't really like this tone very much, and that's just so that I can use it. But because I am trying to get use year-round out of this palette. Anyhow, so I had this big pot of water boiling on the stove, and I was watching QVC, trying to stay awake while my baby had fallen asleep after feeding him. And I was washing the next round of bottles so that I could like prepare his food to be ready when he woke up. And usually it would take about 30 minutes of work to clean the bottles, sterilize them, let them cool off, prepare the bottles, and I would get about an hour break in between feedings once I was done with that, okay? And so this went around the clock for, well, the first couple of months of his life, while I was trying to not only keep him alive, but help him grow and strengthen to where he could continue to develop, because again, he was a premature baby. And so anyhow, one thing led to another, and I fell asleep. I dozed off. One thing led to another, and I dozed off. I fell asleep while I had bottles on the stove in the middle of the night with my whole family in the house, okay? But my grandparents were there and my mother was there and my newborn baby was there, okay? So I fell asleep and nearly burnt the house down. We did not have smoke detectors back then, okay? Most houses didn't. And everybody could have died. The house filled up with smoke, and I honestly don't know how. I think it was, you know, I was becoming such a light sleeper at that time, because any noise I would hear, I would wake up for the baby. And somehow I woke up after I had dozed off, and I don't know how long I had been asleep, but obviously it had been a while, you know. And I smelled something really like, hold on, I have a hair fluff on my nose. I smelled something really like toxic and awful all through the house. And like, I ran out of my room, down the 2 halls, like it was a long hall, like an L long hall, to the kitchen. And I saw the whole, like I opened the hallway door, which I used to keep closed to keep the noise from coming down the hall to the bedrooms, like the noise of the front part of the house where all of the like, you know, common areas were, all of the like the living room, the kitchen, the dining room, the front entrance, the guest bath, like, you know, where all of the people would make noise, because my grandparents always had people over, like always, every single day people would just like come by. I hated that so much, and that's why I don't have company at my house now as an adult. Anyway, yeah, I opened the door and I saw that the entire front part of the house was just completely full of smoke. Like I couldn't even see. I had to duck down, and I was like coughing and covering my mouth. I ran into the kitchen and I realized that I had left the bottles burning on the stovetop. So I turned off the stove and I got mitts and I pulled the hot pan like off the stove and threw it into the porcelain sink and started to pour water on it to help it cool off. Thankfully, it hadn't actually caught a blaze yet, but it had been burning plastic bottle smoke. Anyway, and so like the whole front part of the house had soot all over the walls. Like we were really close to it not turning out in such a salvageable manner. Anyway, we called 911, the fire department showed up, we got out of the house, there was no fire. They aired out the area. They told us we couldn't go back in because of the toxic soot all over everything, and everything was destroyed. We had the insurance that came out, and my family had to do like a big insurance claim, and painters came and had to paint the entire house, floor to ceiling, like everything had to be cleaned out, air vents, everything. It was such a mess. Thankfully though, there wasn't actual like a fire, because I can't imagine that we would be sitting here today discussing this with the kind of an outcome that we did end up having. But anyway, I vowed at that point that I was going to buy more bottles so that I wouldn't have to constantly be washing my one set after it was used. Okay. And that would help me get ahead of like a couple of days of feeding before I would have to wash bottles again, so that I wouldn't be so exhausted around the clock doing bottles in the middle of the night for the next 4 a.m. feeding. You know what I mean? And then I also stopped watching QVC, because when they would just like talk and drone on and on and on, it made it really easy for me to get distracted and doze off and not really pay attention, because it was just like this constant sound in the background. And so I just had to really like, that was such a wake-up call. Like I had to really pull myself together and realize that just because you're tired doesn't mean that you can let yourself fall asleep. And it's not like I fell asleep deliberately. I just somehow passed out, and I didn't realize it until I woke up, and I was like, oh my God, I fell asleep. And that's when I like, you know, ran to figure out what was going on and everything. But yeah, so that's why I won't ever shop at QVC again, no matter what, because of the addiction that I had to it, and because it just, I don't know, it's associated with a very traumatic experience in my life. And that was 25 years ago, but it still left such a lasting impression on me that yeah, when I hear QVC, I instantly just feel dread, and I'm like, no. And even though it's like not anything other than like my own personal trauma or whatever, I guess I can't even hide that when I'm talking about QVC, because one of my friends here that has a YouTube channel was watching my video, the first video that I made with this Tarte lip palette, and she was like, wow, I noticed a tinge of something in your voice when you mentioned QVC. Is there a story behind that? And I was like, yeah, actually there is. I mean, I can laugh about it now and it's not funny at all, but I'm laughing just because of like the sheer fright and terror of what could have been. Like, freaks me out, and laughter is how I cope with things. So it's not like I'm laughing thinking that it's funny. It's more of like a nervous laugh. But anyway, yeah, so that's like why I can't with QVC, because like I literally almost burned my family down. And it just like brings bad memories. Okay guys, I'm ready to get into today's eye look now. So I really don't know what it is that I am going to, oh, I forgot the plastic is in there. I really don't know what it is I'm going to do. I am wearing a hot pink shirt today, and it's just a casual day, but I've already used the pinks, and I've also used the purples in both of the looks that I've already created. So I'm gonna try really, really hard to avoid the purples and this blue. Okay, so let me show you the palette. I've already used I've used the pinks and the purples a couple of times using this palette. I also used this really pretty like blue shade, and I'm gonna try to avoid using those colors in today's look because I really wanna play with some of the other shades that I haven't used. So I'm gonna start off with this BK Beauty eyeshadow brush. I will say I love the BK Beauty face brushes. I'm not that big of a fan of their eye brushes. Like, they're okay on most eyeshadow formulas, but I don't really like them for Natasha Denona or Pat McGrath mattes specifically. So I think it'll be fine though with the Tarte, because Tarte is such, like the Amazonian clay formula is such a user-friendly formula. I don't think it'll be a problem. All right, what am I gonna do in the crease? I wanna create kind of like a soft, pretty look, maybe like right over in here somewhere, and then just deepen it up a little bit somewhere over here. Okay, I think I'm gonna do something up in this corner and try to create like a soft, pretty look, and then maybe use one of these deepening shades. So I'm gonna start off with this shade here. I'm just gonna put that here in the crease. But yeah, so you would think with all of the time and money that I spent shopping at QVC that I would have this really amazing jewelry collection. And I mean, like I did at one time, but I made the mistake of trusting people and allowing a quote unquote friend to stay with us. I asked my mom to let her stay with us at her house when she was down on her luck. And after staying with me for a good while, she then made an excuse as to why she needed to move out. And when I wasn't looking, stole all my jewelry and a bunch of other stuff from me too. And I never heard from her again for like 20 years until she thought I forgot. And then I ran into her. And yeah, that's actually, that'll be a story sometime, because that's a whole ordeal right there. But all right, let me know. I think I want to try, this looks like it's kind of like an orangey pink, so I don't know. I don't think I want to go that direction yet. I'm going to go into this deeper matte here, this one that's like kind of in between these pinks. I'm going to use that kind of like beige brown tan matte there. It's kind of like a camel color actually. Let's see how that looks. So I guess this look is going to be pretty neutral. Especially since I'm trying to avoid the colorful shades that I've already used. I will have a multiple looks video up with this palette like this week. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned for that. All right, so from there, I'm gonna take this brown out here and put that just here on the outer edge. My eye base is tacky, so that's like, it's still tacky. I didn't let it completely dry down before I started, and so that's why I like to just tap my colors into place so that I don't get skipping or patchiness. I just like tap it and kind of blend it like that too. But also, I'm not into a super blown out blended look like a lot of people are. So this is just my technique and what works for how I like my makeup to look on me. Of course, you can do your eyeshadow however you want, but if you want to try the tapping technique, I really like it. And after I'd been doing it that way for a long time, then I started watching Rose and Ben. I'm just using the same shade a little bit more to perfect the shape. Then I started watching Rose and Ben, and I saw that she does a tapping motion too with her eyeshadow. So I was like, hey, I must be onto something here. Anyway, I like the way this eye looks better than this one, but I'm kind of struggling right here. Okay, it is starting to blend really pretty with that first lighter matte. I wasn't planning on doing a brown look, but here we are. I might actually tap into a little bit of the pink for the lid. Like, I want to use one that I haven't touched before, so I'll probably use this pink here, but not yet. Taking just a giant blender, and I'm just gonna like kind of soften up this outer edge a little bit. Yeah, see, well, there went that brush. I'll have to get that later, but this side is blended a lot better than this side. I'm not sure why. Probably because this side had the chance to set before this one did. I mean, this side set, hold on, I'm itching. I've got fluffs on my hair, on my face. It's my new layers. They're hitting my face and I hate that. That's why I hate layers. Anyway, it's because this eye took me a minute. Like I used, okay, start over, Michelle. What am I trying to say? It doesn't matter. I know why it's sticking and you probably do too. Okay. So I'm gonna try to blend out this top edge with this big fluffy brush and just a little bit of this, this soft white. It's not really white. It's more of like an ashy cream colored. It's like a cream, but I'm going to use that and just like tap it along this top edge and try to just blend that into the top a little bit and soften out that edge. Yeah, that made a difference. Do you see how pretty and diffused that looks now? That's why I always appreciate like a bone colored matte or a light colored matte like that, because even if it is your skin tone color, you can still do things with it, you know, and it's still very useful. So I like that. Okay, I feel like that really did help diffuse the top edge, and I like that so much more now. For the lower lash line, I'm gonna go into this deep matte here. This might be too dark, but I'm gonna just see what happens. Just wanna see what color it is and stuff. I'm just gonna stamp that here on the outer edge. Start to try to make my eyes look a little bit rounded instead of quite so pointy, like almond shape. All right. For the inner eye, now in the inner lower lash line, I am going to use this shade here. That shade is such a beautiful, bright, shimmery shade. It is just like a shimmer satin type of a thing, but it's very impactful, as you can see, and I love the brightening effect that it gives. Okay. I want to see what this looks like on my lid. I'm not spraying it or anything. I'm just going to put it on and see how pretty it goes on. This is kind of a fluffy shader. It does build up. It looks better with 2 coats. It's very sparkly and pretty. This is just like a really nice lid shade for a pretty neutral look. So here is the finished look. I do think that looks pretty, just like that, like a real pretty brown and white kind of a vibe, but like brown and cream. But just to amp it up a little bit, I'm gonna take a little bit of this pink. Oh wait, I forgot. Let's see what this champagne color looks like all by itself on my finger. Let's see the difference at the impact. Oh yeah, that is more obviously like a golden champagne when you do it with your finger. And do you see the difference in the application? You can just get like a really opaque, smooth look like that, or you get like a soft, more subtle if you use a brush. So it's really just your personal preference, how you like to do your makeup, whether or not you like to use your fingers and all of that. But I do feel like that looks really, really pretty. Yeah, that is really pretty. But let me just go ahead and do a little bit of a Neapolitan vibe. I'm going to tap into this pink and put that between the brown and the white. Ooh, that's really, really bold. Oh. Just like kind of at an angle so that I can blend it in. I just want a little something. It's just a clean brush. Just gonna kind of blend that a little bit, not too much so that I don't lose the gradient effect, but there. I do really like the way that looks. Here is the finished eyeshadow look. So here is the finished eyeshadow look all by itself with the Tarte Reflections palette. Let me add some finishing touches off screen. Okay. Let me add some finishing touches and I'll be right back to show you the completed look. So here is the finished eye look. The second look here on my channel with, this is my third look. For my third look to create with the Tarte Reflections eyeshadow palette, let me give you a close-up of the eyes. I hope you can see some of the sparkle and that you can tell that there is like a gradient effect. So yeah, that's cool. Anyway, so yeah, I'm sorry that I keep messing with my hair. She blow dried it to where it falls in my face. And so like, I don't like that. But anyways, that's going to do it for this Chatty Get Ready with me and my eye look of the day. Hope you enjoyed hanging out with me. If you did, please be sure to click the like button. It really does help my small channel out so much. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel before you go and comment down below. Let me know what you think of the look. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.